Welcome, everyone, to episode 153 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pentelarusco. I write stuff and podcast too. My guest today is none other than Eddy McLain. David's hilarious. I had a lot of fun here. Actually, I should also mention his daughter, Tabitha, probably was the heart of the episode in a lot of ways, and it was a lot of fun to have David and company there. That was good. Beyond that, well, I'm just going to talk about what's coming up with me, and I'm going to talk about Dave stuff at the end, but March 22nd is coming closer and closer. The one thing that is changing, I should say, I'm not going to do a jealous theme anymore. I decided kind of against it, but I'm still going to be doing a live podcast. I'm still going to be launching The Wandering God, courtesy of Mirror World Books, March 22nd, Owl's Nest Books, 7 p.m. Be there. It'll be a lot of fun. I promise. Outside of that, no, I just been doing stuff. Kind of been taking this month. I would say a little lighter than normal, which is nice. I'm kind of just doing small projects right now, and I'm working on a not so small project right now too. But that'll be talked about down the road. But as is, let's get right to our conversation with Eddy McLain. I have turned the recorder on.
Okay.
So anything incriminating you want to say, make it good.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured you would. So how you been, man?
I have been mostly good. We have had a few minor personal catastrophes here, but we're hanging in there, and we're doing good. So you're finishing up a new book?
Yes, I am. I am having a blast right now. I'm doing rewrites, which they're kind of like the devil, but they're necessary evils. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, this part of your book sucks. I'm like, shit. I can't.
I have found myself looking at the pages and going, stupid. More than once.
I don't usually get that error. This is the error I get. You can do better than this. This is what my editor says. You can do better than this. And then I read it. I can do better than this. And then what ends up happening is, well, I'm at a hard part too. This is the part of this was a heavy rewrite. This isn't like, line edits or just a small error in continuity here and there. This is more like, oh, this part is soggy. If this was the Titanic, this is where the book sinks right here. This is the iceberg. So what's happening right now is I'm doing a major rewrite, it's a big change because it's going to make me have to go back and do more rewrites in the front end, but not like to set this up. And then in the back end, it's going to change my ending, which it's like, yay! But it's necessary. Like, it's one of those things where I looked at it to myself and said, yeah, you know what? This part really did suck. It is sucky. I can't argue. It sucks when you can't argue. That's the worst part, when you have no argument anymore and your editor's just right.
Do you ever have that moment where something happens that's a total surprise even to you?
Yes.
Coming. That's the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
Something real happens, like something just genuine pops up out of nowhere and you're like, oh.
I have a unicorn that farts rainbows in this novel. It talks in wingdings.
Oh.
You're like, I'm in.
Okay, rock and roll.
Yeah, well, no, I look. If you've talked to Justine about me, she'll probably tell you I'm a little nuts. She'll probably tell you that.
I don't think I talked to Justine very much about you. She did not say you were a little nuts.
Oh, okay.
I did not really ask.
Yeah, no, she'll I have wonderfully strange and imaginative ideas, and she digs that. But every once in a while, I'm sure she just looks at me and goes, "What did you eat as a kid? Because this is nuts. I like it, but it's nuts. And that's it. Like that. This is a crazy little like kitchen sink sci-fi novel is what this is, and I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Actually, I think this is the worst thing about this particular rewrite. It's the serious part of the novel. It's the part where I actually have to be like, there are stakes, there are things on the line, and it's real. And I mean, in the same book, I have zombie mobsters and unicorns that fart rainbows and dragons that sneeze and other things that are a lot more fun to write. But you need structure and scrap.
And can you Explain the novel in one sentence.
Indiana Jones meets the Matrix.
You didn't have a... Well, that works.
Yeah.
That works. For those of you who are not writers, if you are a writer, you need to learn a sentence. This is called the strap line.
Yep. Or the elevator pitch.
Book, The Time Garden Museum is the story of a time traveler who falls in love with three men. One from the present, one from the past, one from the future. She misjudges them all.
That's good. I like that. That's a really good pitch.
You gotta know how to do it in one sentence.
Oh no, I agree. It's a
sentence. People are bored. They've wandered away.
Well, there's that. It's just we're bombarded today. Like, I don't know about you, but I go on Twitter. I dread following writers. I don't know about you. I kind of dread it because then what happens is when I
I don't.
You don't?
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't follow a whole lot of writers on Twitter. I don't spend a whole lot of time on Twitter. I don't use the internet very much to promote my books. I mostly do it in person.
Which is actually, I think, the best way of doing it, right? Because it's real, right? Like, it's like you and me having a conversation right now, right? And I mean, you get to see who I am. I get to see who you are, and your daughter kind of is looking at me like.
My daughter is making grunting noises in the background, which is never a good sign.
Okay.
But I think we're okay.
Okay, are you sure?
Yeah, no, it's good. I promote my books at science fiction conventions, comic book shows, steampunk shows, regular art fairs on the streets of small towns.
So what?
Northeastern America.
So what's your favorite art show, if you don't mind my asking? Because I have a personal favorite myself, but but it's here, not there. But I'm just curious what yours is.
My favorite art show is one in Buffalo, and it's called Allentown. It is not in Allentown, which is a different city.
Yes.
In the Northeast, it is on Allentown Road or Allentown Street or something in Buffalo, New York. That would be my favorite art show.
Nice. Mine was Phoenix, Arizona. They do an event called First Friday, and all the artists in town kind of go to these different city blocks and promote stuff. It's really, really cool, although very scary when you're actually legitimately beside a rock concert.
We have a First Friday. Here in the little town I live in, they're pretty common.
Yeah.
In the Northeast, they are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
My favorite show of all time is the Wicked Winter Renaissance Fair, which is actually this weekend in Piscataway, New Jersey, and used to be run by a friend of mine, and we're not there now because my little friend here, who you can see and I guess nobody can hear, is
well,
the under 16, which is what you have to be to.
No.
My wife is there promoting my book, so if anybody is at the Wicked Fair and listening to this, you can actually pick up a copy.
Nice. So this is Tabitha.
This is Tabitha, and she is 9. She's almost 10 months old. She'll be 10 months old day after tomorrow. And this was our big project after. My wife illustrates my books. The last two we did are kind of like, I'm trying to think, like sort of they're for young adults. They have lots of pen and ink drawings in them.
That's really cool.
I think maybe like Alice in Wonderland would be an apt thing to compare them to. And she is off promoting them. We sell lots of stuff, like my shirt here.
So you the Doctor Who themed telephone Union Jack combination there, I'm assuming?
It's a TARDIS Union Jack, yeah. We actually don't sell this one. She made this. We sell embroidered stuff and art, and like the books are like also there, and I don't sell as many books as like if you've ever been to a science fiction convention and you've seen the guy who's opened the one bookstore. He will sell more books, but he will leave with $450 and I'll leave with $2,000, but I sell fewer books. So because I make a profit on it, I get to keep slowly grinding them out year after year. The books have a little life of their own.
So you're like a full blown Renaissance dude, whereas you just do a whole bunch of different, like, I'm not gonna say art projects. It's just but you're in a lot of different disciplines. Is that accurate?
I work with my wife, and my wife is just has all of these different things that she does. I mostly just work on books, and then I set stuff up, and then I run the cash register.
So you're the hired goon.
I'm the hired gun.
Yeah. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's pretty cool that you two work together like that. It's actually very very.
It is super cool, and we work together, and we just whatever we're in the mood to work on, that's what we do, and we find a way to make a profit off of it.
Which is really what it's all about when you get right down to it. I mean, it sounds like what you guys have done is carved your niche out, which is the way it's going today.
Well, I know a lot of writers who promote stuff online, and I think maybe they do some stuff in person, but not a lot. And I kind of do everything almost is in person. If I sell a book, I actually had I think I sold 8 books last month, which is a big month for me. And because we just did an audio version, some of those were actually online, but usually I'll sell like 8 books in a month, and all 8 of them are to people I met in person. It was somebody who came up to my booth and said hi, and they picked up the book, and I say, that's my book, and I give my strap line. I have 2 books that I'm usually selling, my 2 most recent, which are both illustrated, and they look through it, and they say, hey, I can get this signed by the author, and they actually the roadshow, selling the signed copy for $10,000, and then they buy it from me, and I have less luck online doing things like stores, which I have never had much luck with.
Well, no, I can kind of feel you on that. For me, like I use online primarily for my podcasts. I meet people like yourself. I meet people like Nate, who I'm interviewing in a little bit too, and I get this opportunity to meet and interact with you guys, and that's where my Twitter and Facebook use primarily goes to. Have I sold books through there? Yeah, sure, I have. But yeah.
You gotta do a lot though.
But it depends. I approach social media like a game, right? I look at it as a place and an excuse to goof off. My most recent posts are talking about like the importance of Bailey's and ice cream. I'm occasionally talking about like you popped that I like that, but I mean that's like I find this is what I have found like marketing wise. I don't know a soul alive that doesn't want to play. Like I just in terms of being interactive and wanting to engage. And I find if I'm engaging you, I'm doing something right. I may not get that book sale right then and there. But if I come across like a human being with a soul, that seems to be a rare thing on social media these days, but that's what I try to come across as. People seem to respond to it. And it works for me. I do prefer an in-person approach because honestly, there's nothing that beats that interaction. Hey. So I'm saying hi to Miss Tabitha, who seems to look kind of shyish.
She is she's eating David Tennant's shoe. I have a Doctor Who pop here. She is going to town on the sand shoes.
Yeah, I see that. And and she's like, "Hi, who is this person that's watching me and talking to me on the screen?"
Yeah, this is actually going pretty well. I had other daycare things I was gonna do that I didn't end up getting to, but this is fine. No, she's good. She's a good kid.
Yeah.
Pretty quiet.
Is she your only kid at this?
She gets dragged through all the. I have 2 kids from my first marriage. Their names are Finn and Albert.
Yeah.
They are 12 and 10.
Ah.
They are adopted from Korea, so they don't look like this kid I'm holding here. But they're good kids too. They're just, don't need to be held right.
Oh, yeah.
She just held that out to your face. The camera's in a little bit different spot.
No, it's all good to me. She's like, She's like curious, doesn't know what's going on, it looks like, and it kind of shy at the same time. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Yeah, I mean, this is your. I mean, I've only known her for like 2 seconds here, so.
She's I know she doesn't talk yet, so it's hard to say a whole lot about her. But
I'm just watching where her eyes are going. When I'm looking at, if I look at her direct, she kind of looks the other way. So it kind of tells me maybe she's a little shy.
she's not super shy. We drag her to. She's been to, I think, 3 comic book conventions and an art show and a steampunk convention already. No, 2 steampunk conventions. So
Yeah.
she ends up around a lot of people a lot of times.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. They go through these phases. She could be super shy tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair.
She's definitely trying to offer you a bite of David Tennant's show.
Yes.
Trying to be very friendly. She doesn't want to hog all the shoe.
Well, that's okay. She can hog all of the shoe. This is this is a first on my podcast. I mean, hey, I've never had a 10-month-old on the show before. So, you're first, Miss Tabitha. Hey, thank you.
I like to break records here.
Yes, that's right.
It would be better if we had your mom who illustrated. That didn't work out.
Well, it's
actually selling copies.
Well, that's it sounds like you two support each other a lot, which is really, really, really cool. And yeah. Well, it's good. It's good to be in a team environment. It really, really is. So, I mean, in one sense, you have my envy. On the other hand, I mean, hey, I'm getting offered Shub as a result of this. So this is kind of cool. So
I know I have my own system. I notice other writers trying to come up with their system, and it's not the same. I don't know. They have a blog online, which is very specific, and the all-time, my biggest success of all time was getting a like and a follow from Twitter on Carrie Fisher right before she died, and I'm pretty sure it was because she read my blog.
That's awesome.
That was awesome, and it got strange right after that because Carrie Fisher followed me. I'm like, wow, that's cool, and I logged off of Twitter and I went to bed and went to bed. And then the next morning I got up and I had gotten a follow from, I forget her name, Mrs. Partridge.
Nice.
And then I got a follow from Liza Minnelli, who I think turned out to be a bot or something, but and you're kind of, I'm like, was there a meeting at Debbie Reynolds? You gotta follow Dave on Twitter.
Well, no, it's okay. So Twitter's a strange animal in the sense that you meet people and like I like my celebrity follows people who follow me on Twitter. Believe it or not, Luke Gallows from the WWE.
Okay.
Right, he follows me. Diane Birch, musician. She follows me. Terry Moore from he does the comic book Stranger in Paradise. Rachel Rising, he follows me. Right, those are my celebrity follows, and it's really, really cool. I think in Terry's case he follows me because I gush about his books a lot, and that's good for the ego, I'm sure. But
that works.
Yeah. But it's just if you hit the right it's like talking about systems. Really the important thing with marketing is being true to you, right? You gotta find what works for yourself, and you gotta stick that course, right? So I think Tabitha concurs.
Yeah, Tabitha definitely agrees.
Yes.
I think you're probably correct in that, and I do what works with me, which I'm not a big internet guy. So.
Well, and you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. Like the important thing, right? Is like you gotta do what you're comfortable with, right? I got no problem making an ass of myself on social media, which is why this works for me, right? Because I don't take it too seriously, so I'll talk about rainbows and unicorns, and I'll talk about that kind of stuff because it's fun for me, and I'll do it, and And I stay away from from the more toxic elements of social media that include, politics and other strange and wonderful things people like to talk about and fight about. And but that works for me. And if it's head to head, it's head to head. What's your blog tends to be about?
My blog is it's kind of focused. It's all dialogue, and it if you look at it on the page, it reads like the script from a play almost. But it is my daughter and my wife and so that he needs to be down here, and my cat, and it's just kind of jokes. The average blog is maybe like 4 lines, and the dog and the cat both talk, but unlike somebody like Snoopy, the dog kind of talks about things that maybe you would think a dog would talk about, like the high quality of butt sniffing.
Nice.
Greater area, and the cat is kind of like the mean older brother. And,
yeah.
But yeah, that is actually another thing that my wife and I kind of did together because she's done some pictures for it. And yeah, it's kind of stuff like I'm outside and I come back in and my wife says, "How was your walk?" And I said, "Not so good." And I said, "There's a rabbit that's living out in the yard," and she says, "Oh, that's nice. What's wrong with that?" And I said, "Because little rabbit poops are easy to spot in the snow." And then the dog says, "The Easter Bunny left me candy." And just little stuff like that.
I somehow see your cat in that comic doing a lot of catnip because of the dog. Just watches the dog.
He does catnip every once in a while, and it's always a pot joke.
Yeah. It just
growing in the backyard. Do you want me to take care of that before the cops show up?
Yeah. It's like you want to take care of that. It's like yeah. It sounds like your cat's like it got saddled with the dog. It's like why me? That's what it sounds like. Why me?
I think that cat's always kind of had that look. Yeah, the cat is actually older and was very disappointed when the dog came around. So there is kind of that going.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The cat will get over it in about another 10 years. It's all good.
But yeah, I do stuff like that, but mostly I sell them in person, and and if there's anybody out there listening who is thinking of writing a book, if you make $100 a month on a book, that doesn't sound like much, but hey, it's $100, and you do that for 5-6 years on the same book, which I've done. You're talking $5-6 grand. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Actually, that's significantly more money. Doing the math on that, that's closer to 7-8 grand actually, which again,
are correct.
Yeah, I can do math. I'm special. I know. But no, it's everybody's got their methods, man. If it works for you, don't. And hey, the other thing too, the truth is, word of mouth is the best marketing. It really, really is. You talk to enough people, right? People are gonna know who you are, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, I know this guy. He writes this book, and then he's got this other book, and then one day you'll blow up and you'll be rich and shameless." Something tells me maybe you're already one of the two. I'm not going to say which one, but but I mean, but that's not a terrible thing. I mean, it just means that you're going at your own pace, and really the important thing is, are you happy with it?
I am happy. I'm very pleased with the books I've written. I think they came out very well, which has helped. It helps in the long run, because if you've written something that has not aged well, that's just hard. It becomes harder to sell it. It's hard to get out there and promote it, and you can't. The trick is to not give up, and not just not give up on your writing, but not give up on your books either.
Well, no. I mean, you shouldn't give up on your books, because everybody that has books out there have worked and bled and sweated and cried and done their thing, and Tabitha just dropped her shoe.
It's okay. I've got Rose Tyler.
Nice.
We're working.
The experienced parent, you can tell. There's already a plan B ready to go. It's like, okay, I know she's gonna drop this at some point.
Yeah, there's a bottle sitting on the desk where they're right out of sight too. So we're definitely well prepared.
Yeah, I see that. I see that. But I mean, that's cool. So I think at some point we should ask about your current book, because
My current book, The Time Travelers. Or you mean the one the most recent release?
Yes.
The Time Travelers Resort and Museum. And as I said, is the story of a time traveler who falls in love with three men, one from the present, one from the past, one from the future. She misjudges them all. It has an audio version out just this last month, which clocks in at 12 hours and 45 minutes. And it has paperback and hardcover versions. And those, you got to have a hardcover version if you show up in person too. That's another thing. But it's illustrated by my wife, Felix Eddy. And it's a comic. Most of what I write is usually pretty humorous. With the Time Travelers and Resort Museum, I wanted to kind of do something. I wanted to take what Douglas Adams did with outer space, and I wanted to do it with history. So I wrote this book about a time traveler who is about to invent time travel. She doesn't know it, and time travelers start to show up and kind of mess with what she's trying to do.
That sounds dangerous for a time traveler. If you sit there and think about that, because why would you screw around with the person that invents it? Because it doesn't seem like that would go well.
They have their reasons, and she ends up stuck in the past and has to get back to the present, which is why she ends up
going to the. I'm assuming past, future, present.
We see the future, not as much. We see a lot of the past and a fair amount of the present.
Ah, gotcha. Is this going to be a series, or is this going to be like a one and done? It sounds series-ish, but I could be wrong.
If you read it, it reads kind of series-ish. I want to sell more copies before I really worry about another one. I have, I think, about 75 pages of the second one. But my wife read it. The first thing she said when she finished was, "You got to write more. You need to write more." And I will write more. And even if I only give it to her, I will write more. But I want to. I want to. Part of my business strategy, why it works, is I don't have a whole lot of books that I'm showing up with. I have 2, and then I show up with other stuff.
I think
If you buy a book, it's great, and if you want to buy one of my wife's fancy embroidered bags, that's fine too. And I want to wait until.
Huh. That's interesting. That's interesting because that's I think the only part where I'm kind of like, this is what I noticed when I went to conventions. When I just had the Watcher, right? I sold okay, but nothing to write home about. When I got to the second book, right? My sales for the first one went up because I had 2, and I haven't really gone full tilt onto the third one yet because I fixed my teeth, which has been a project. Yeah. Which was a unexpectedly big project, both physically and emotionally. The emotion stuff really threw me for a loop. I wasn't expecting that. But now that that's kind of done, it's like, okay, I can actually promote my crap again, which is good. But what I'm expecting is, because I have a third book and soon I'm going to have a fourth book, right? And it'll be a different series with the fourth book. I'm figuring that it will draw people in, because I notice that people take you more seriously with quantity. It's a math thing. Again, physically, it's just like you see that he's done books. Like, whoa, he's done books.
I'll give an example of.
Yeah.
I remember I went to a show out in Wisconsin. It was a year and a half ago. And I was wandering around at the show. My wife was watching the booth. And I walked up to this guy, and he had, I think, 6 books. And I said, "Oh, I'm a writer. I've got my books here, too." And he said, "How many have you sold?" And I said, "Well, I've sold 4. And he went, "Yeah, well, I've sold 30. And I would feel terrible if I'd only sold 4. Well, he sold 30. He was selling for, I think, about $15 a book, and so he made $450. I left with $2,000, but I only sold 4 books because because the books are only a portion of what I'm selling.
Well, no. I get no. I totally get. Like I said, this is the only thing that's interesting to me is like no. I've met that guy too, and I'm like that. And I'm like, you're nice-ish. You do a podcast? Yes, I do. Have a good day. And that's pretty much the end of that conversation. It's like, oh.
Have you done a podcast at like a show or anything like that? Gone and done a live one?
Yes.
That's
No. I did that last year. My first one was in. Oh, it was fun. It was so much fun.
good.
It was fun. I had 2 authors and a musician as my part of my live show, and it was and it was during a freaking cyclone, so only a dozen people showed up. But it was. I'm not kidding. I'm not even kidding.
I'm laughing because I've had that problem.
Yeah. I get this awesome cake, and I'm looking outside. I'm like, no one's going to come to this. But to my surprise, people came. We had a good show. People were laughing, which is good. Yeah, and not just at me, which is always your biggest worry about that. And no, it was entertaining. I'm doing another one actually next month. It's going to be a Jello themed one. But this time I'm the guest, so I'm a little scared because my sister's going to interview me, and I'm very worried about this because it's.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. I'm sure it'll be good. So no, I'm expanding. I'm expanding in that regard because to me, I like something like what Long you said. You can't just like I have found like for me personally. I mean, I love books, but it's not enough. I enjoy other creative pursuits as well, and this has been one of them. So, yeah.
I've done. There's a podcast called The History of England, which I've done 5 times now. So I've done a few. I have a friend's podcast to do every once in a while too, but it's it was something the first time I did a podcast, I had contacted the host of The History of England. And I said he would have guests on sometimes, and I said, "Are you going to have someone do something about William Shakespeare?" And he said, "Yes, I am. Is that going to be you?" And I thought, "There's no way I could do that." And then I immediately thought, "There's no way I can't do that."
Yeah.
It was just a wonderful thing to do. I talked for an hour about Hamlet and Shakespeare's biography and Richard II and I admire you doing as many podcasts as you do. I know how much work that.
Yeah, no. Well, the thing is, okay. So this is what people ask me, what do I get out of it? I do actually make I've made a small chunk of change with the podcast. I sell merchandise, right, on the side. I don't advertise. I haven't advertised it very much because I've been taking care of other problems the last 6 months. But I do have merchandise, and but the cool thing is I get to talk to people like you and Miss Tabitha here, and I get to do this on a regular basis. I literally interviewed last week a New York Times bestselling author.
Cool.
Yeah, I get to do this on a regular basis. How is that not cool? Like, I mean, honestly, right? Yeah. So I mean, why? I mean, I've been interviewing people for about 16 years in various forms. That's how actually I met Justine, was through an interview. And it's just one of those situations where, I just now something I naturally do. Going back to the very beginning here, doing what you're comfortable doing and being true to who you are. That's, I think, really the secret to success, whoever that is. You seem to be a comical writing dad, which I'm guessing has a theater background.
How did you know that? How did you know that?
Magic.
How did you know that? That is, my bachelor's degree is in drama.
Well, no, when you mentioned Shakespeare, it clicked the piece in there. It's like, this is a guy that enjoys. Like you're an art fan. I totally see that you're an art fan. I get that. I got that literally 2 minutes into meeting you. But I mean, I'm like, where does this come from? Where does this go? And I'm like, well, his wife, by the way, she's welcome to be interviewed anytime she'd like to too. Just an FYI, that'd be kind of cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll mention it to her.
Yeah.
She could definitely do that. I'll have to convince her.
No. I like this. This is about you, but I figured, but I would love to meet the other half of this equation, just simply because I just met you, and I'm like, okay, he seems like I want to figure out which of you two is the reasonable one, because I'm guessing it's neither, but
No, it's her.
yeah, she's the reason. Okay, cool. So I mean, but like you're true to who you are, and that's really what that's my favorite part of doing these kinds of shows. I get to meet people like you, and I get to figure out who you are, and to some degree how you tick. But also, I mean, I learned stuff too, and this is, I mean, all in all, I mean, why wouldn't I do something like this? So anyway, I see that Miss Tabby's getting ready for him.
No.
She kind of.
It's super good.
You know, the moment this podcast goes down, she might just explode on you. You know that, right? You just set yourself up for that.
I believe a trip to McDonald's was promised. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I will let you go to that trip to McDonald's very, very shortly here. So this is what we're going to do to wrap this up. So, okay, we mentioned your book. We're gonna reiterate. So what I'd like you to do is, since we've already talked about your book, Time Traveler's Wife, coming out from Mirwell Publishing.
The Time Traveler's Resort.
Sorry. My bad. Right? Time Traveler's Resort.
Time Traveler's Wife was a bestseller. They made a movie out of it.
Yeah. Okay.
Not so lucky.
Not yet. One day. And then you'll be like, I'll be like, I told you, and I'm gonna say, you're gonna give me a McDonald's trip, right? But
one McDonald's trip.
Done. Cool.
The playscape.
That's right. But also for people that want to actually follow you, your blog, and how people can find you.
My blog is mydogisgross.tumblr.com, and I am on Twitter at, what am I on Twitter? I don't know.
By the way, and your dog has shown up at the very end here.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm at McLain Dave, McLaindAV.
Okay.
We'll go with it.
Okay.
But yeah, my blog is definitely, it's something that's fun, it's funny, and it's free.
And that was my conversation with David Eddy McLain. Check out his book, The Time Traveler's Resort. One thing I think I really enjoyed about this particular conversation, and it's not talked about enough, is you got to work on what you're comfortable on, how you market your own stuff. We have to get out there as writers, as artists. We have to be extroverted enough to cause attention to our books. But it doesn't mean we have to go about it the same way everybody else is doing it. You got to find what's your comfort zone and what are your goals, because those are the things that they matter. And you should always think about that when you're doing anything. And that's it really for this episode. If you want to support this podcast, subscribe to it either through Podomatic or through iTunes. Leave a review. That'd be great. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Joshua Pantellaresco. There are episodes there. More episodes will be coming soon, I promise. I fell a little behind on that. You can check out my books, The Watcher, Storm Dancer, Wandering God, courtesy of MiravelPublishing.com. You can get them on Amazon or wherever other place electronic books are sold. Beyond all that, stay inspired out there, do good things, and I promise you, you'll be rewarded. Keep dreaming with your eyes wide open.
Josh.